Hey y'all, it is me, Shalita O'Neill, founder and CEO of Fostering Change Network and creator of the nonprofit Visionary Academy. I'm going to try this Facebook live thing out for the first time, and today what I wanted to talk to you guys about is how to raise seed money for your new nonprofit organization. So I'm going to give it a minute for people to be able to hop on and to join. I'll just give a little bit of information or background about myself. And I'm probably wondering, why, who am I to come and try to help you raise seed dollars for your nonprofit? So just a little background. I started my own nonprofit about 8 years ago, and the purpose was to help young people who were aging out of the foster care system. And, at that point, I didn't know what I was doing. Hey, I got to follow. Hey, y'all. I didn't know what I was doing, but I knew that something needed to be done because I had a passion for foster care because I was in foster care. So I really, got together an advisory board, started asking questions with different people who were in nonprofit for years to guide me, to mentor me. And so I was able to really build a strong foundation for my organization, and it is still around. We actually were recently acquired by a larger organization, but 8 years later. So I've learned a lot from starting my own nonprofit, running it successfully, raising over $2 million for the organization. So at this point, I really want to be able to help other people to, make their nonprofit dreams become a reality. A lot of people, thanks Angel, hey, a lot of people, question whether or not they're able to really make their dreams come to life, or who are they to want to start a nonprofit, or do they know enough, or are they enough? And I'm here to tell you that I had those same questions, but you can do what I've done, and even better. You can start that nonprofit. If you want to do something in the community, especially now, with the elections, and a lot of people are really upset and hurt, me being one of them, but there's a way to channel that, so the community needs you. And whatever innovation or thought or service or program that you want to provide in your community, you can do that. So I'm here to help you make it easy, because it can be fun. Okay. Yes, it could be daunting, all these things you have to do. But when you break it down into smaller pieces and you have somebody to help walk you through it, it's completely doable, right? So today, I really, wanted, again, to just go over how do you raise seed money for your organization. So I hope you have already taken a look at my Dream Your Nonprofit in a Weekend online module, online course. And that is a free online course that helps walk you through sort of thinking through your vision, your goal, your mission, some of the basic things that you need to be thinking about before you say, okay, I want to start a nonprofit organization. Okay, well, there's some things you're going to need to actually, put in place. And so that Dream Your Nonprofit in a Weekend is part of the Nonprofit Visionary Academy, which I'll put links below as well, so that you can actually, enroll in the Nonprofit Visionary Academy to help guide you through that foundation. So I hope you view that, because I say you've got that, you've got your vision, you know what it is that you want to do, the name of your organization, who you want to work with, and that sort of thing. Now you're like, okay, well, how do I actually raise the monies? Because you're going to need the monies. And when I say seed dollars, yeah, I know everybody want to jump to let's make the hundreds of thousands of dollars, and I'm going to, apply for a federal grant. We're going to get all this money. Okay. You got to crawl before you walk. You got to crawl before you walk. So initially, that's why I say seed dollars. The money that you're going to need to file your paperwork, right? You got to file with the IRS. That could be about $1,000. With all the paperwork, the founding, the articles of incorporation and such. You're going to need to do that. You're going to need to pay for a logo, website. You're going to need equipment. So thinking about you got to crawl before you walk. Thinking about the initial things that you're going to need to run your organization is what the seed dollars are going to cover, right? So that you can actually start providing some sort of programming so that when you go to the large funders and you want to get your name out there, you've already built the foundation for that, and you can, actually respond and provide the services that you say you want to provide, right? So we got to start somewhere. So we're starting with the smaller seeded dollars, right, to do some of those things. So what I want you all to know is that before you start planning events or before you start putting the word out there about what you're doing, you really want to make sure that you have a strong board in place. And typically it's 3 to 5 individuals, that are going to really help you run your organization, or at least build it initially, right? Because we're talking about the startup, the nonprofit visionaries, So you want to make sure you're very intentional about who you engage around your organization and who you invite to be a board member, because they're going to need to help you raise funds, which is a huge piece of it. And they're also going to need to help you come up with the concept of the programming. They are your business partners in essence. And technically they own, the organization. So, even though it's your idea and this is your baby, this is your vision, technically, legally, the board members are the ones who are responsible for your organization. So you want to make sure when you're reaching out to people that they know what you're expecting of them. And that's one thing, if I could go back, I would do differently, because I was whoever want to help me. I had friends and, who were just willing to step in and support me, right? Because it was me and we had that relationship, but really didn't understand what it meant to be a board member. And I didn't know either. And so I didn't really prepare them for what that would be. So I have to take responsibility for that too. It's not fair to the people that you're bringing on to help you if they're not aware of exactly what it is that you're going to need them to do. So you want to make sure that you're upfront with them. They're going to need to raise money, and that should be an expectation in your bylaws. And, because I've heard people say, well, no, you can't don't ask your board members to contribute or put a minimum or something like that of what they're supposed to contribute per year. And I would say against that, you need to make sure your board members are going to be the first people, right? Your first stream of revenue or support that come into the organization should come from your board members. And if your board, the people who you've brought on to help you start this organization, those 3 to 5 people, if none of them are able to help you raise money, then maybe being a board member is not a role for them at this point. And raising money doesn't just necessarily mean coming out of their own pockets. It could be their networks. So people who they're connected to, if they're not willing to reach out to help you, get some initial funds in the organization, then maybe at this point there's another role that they can fill. But board members need to be worker bees, okay? Because it's super, super duper important. So when you're talking about raising the seed dollars, that is the first place that you should be getting money from. And people will ask, what's the typical amount do you ask for from your board members? It's really up to you. I've seen people require anywhere from $500 a year contribution to $1,000 per year contribution. It's really up to you. So as you're starting that, starting to raise money, make sure you keep in mind that your board is supposed to donate the initially, right? Okay, so we're talking about that, right? And then their networks. So you want to make sure that they're also connected to people who can help support you or bring either tangible resources or financial resources into the organization. And actually those who are viewing this right now, again, I hope you're sharing it. Please like it. And if you go onto the website ShalitaO'Neal.com and sign up for email subscription so that I can keep in contact with you, I will send you a detailed Seed Your Nonprofit for Success fundraising plan. So it'll go into detail, break it down by who you should be reaching out to, how much you should be asking from them, and what should the logistics look like for the events or for the fundraising. So that is something that will just come along with you signing up to subscribe. So ShalitaO'Neal.com, ShalitaOneal.com. e.com, and you'll be able to, I'll make sure you get that. And that is the seeded plan, fundraising plan, to raise at least $5,000 in 90 days. And I kept it a little modest. In my first 90 days, I raised $30,000 for my nonprofit organization, but everybody is at different points. So we're going to take it small, but if you follow the plan, you will raise at least $5,000 in 90 days. So make sure you go onto the website and subscribe so that I can get that to you, so you can start, making the money to do the work that you need to do. So another thing that I would say, before you start jumping into raising the money, there's a couple of things that you have to, cover first. So we talked about your board, making sure you had the right people on your board that are working, that are going to help you raise the money that you're looking to raise. They're going to help you get the connections in the community for the partnerships. They are the first line of defense for everything. If you start trying to run your organization in the beginning by yourself, that is how it will always be. Right? You didn't get in this to do this by yourself. You don't have to do this by yourself. Accept the support. Make sure, I know, we're talking to nonprofit visionaries. So you're go-getters, you're out there, you want to make a difference. You can make it happen, quickly, but understand, slow down a little bit and let other people help you and contribute, because I've had, experiences with different boards of my own that, once I started doing that, and you show how good you can do by yourself, you look up and people are like, what you need help for? Why are you upset that, you're the only one raising money? Or why are you upset that you're the only one making phone calls to get people to events? Because you started out that way, people get comfortable. So start out with the collaboration, right, with your board. They are with you every step of the way. I cannot stress that enough. You can avoid a lot of issues in the beginning with your board and board development if you really involve them and you're really careful about who you invite to come onto your board. So before you start trying to raise seed dollars, you have to make sure you actually know what it is that you need and what you want and where you're going to use that money for. And again, if you've gone through the Dream Your Nonprofit in a weekend online module, that will, you will have developed a very clear, concise mission, the programs that you're going to offer, the people you're going to be reaching out to. You'll already have a good idea of what that is initially. So typically you want to have a 1 or 2 pager that it describes who you are. Okay, and what it is that you're looking to raise money for. Because whether you're going to be sending that document via email to people, or whether you're going to have an event and you want to have something there, so when people that are coming to the event, they can read it and they can get more information about who you are, how they can help you, and then they can also share that information with other people, because that's the whole thing. It's about networks. And if I can't stress enough, I want you guys to take away from this that fundraising or resource development is about people. It's about people. And you may hear people that say, oh, well, grant writing, I'm gonna get a grant writer, I'm gonna pay a grant writer a whole bunch of money to write me a grant, and I'm gonna get money that way. And what I would say is that is only one of the ways that you get money, right? Initially, and even with that, what I like to tell people is grant writing, or when you're writing a proposal, that is sort of like your backup document, right? So you've already reached out to meet with a potential funder or potential donor face to face. That grant proposal, typically, if they don't know who you are or have never heard of you, they're not just going to write a big old check to you. So there takes some development with relationships and sitting down with someone and find out what it is that what they're looking for or looking to support, and what it is that you have to offer. And again, going back to your board are supposed to help you with that as well. Their networks, the people that they know, will be helping to connect you to that. But you have to know what it is that you need and what it is that you're raising money for. So in that, in that 1 pager, again, it's not a grant proposal or any of that. It's just to be able to share with people what it is that, your organization is looking to do. Because people will not give, to an organization if they don't know what you stand for and if they don't know what you really need from them. And part of that, the next piece is developing a budget. So I can't tell you how often I've spoken to people and I've asked them, nonprofit visionaries, what's your budget, or what are you looking to raise? And not even just startup organizations. I've spoken to people whose organizations have been around for a couple of years and they don't have a budget. So no. You must have a budget. And listen, it's a working document. So it's not like it's written in stone that, oh my goodness, if you don't raise this money, or if you don't, then something's wrong with you, or no. It just provides you direction. And I like to tell people, create a budget, like a best case scenario budget, because I'm a visionary. I love to dream, I mean, why not? If you shoot for it, you miss it, at least you've gotten much closer than if you would have lowballed yourself. So for a budget, make sure and when we're talking about, startup organizations, there's certain things that you need as a startup that, you're not going to need to pay 15 staff members and, pay, all these insurances and workers' comp and overhead. You're not going to need that yet. Right? We're talking about seeded, right? We're talking about seed money just to get you started. It's very basic things. You definitely want to make sure that you write yourself if you're planning to be the executive director, or if you want someone else to lead the organization, but you want to make sure you put that in your budget as well. And something, reasonable, balanced. You're just starting up. So it's not like you're going to be making $100,000 unless if you have some funder somewhere that's just going to give you that money. In that case, you wouldn't be watching this, would you? Right? You don't need seeded dollars in that case. So you want to be balanced with it, and understanding that you need to pay yourself something. You do. And funders have told me this as well, because we get, nonprofit visionaries. We're like, oh, we don't need any. We're doing this out the kindness of our hearts. That's right. But kindness does not pay your bills. So be realistic about what it is that you can actually, be able to earn from the organization, enough so that you can dedicate time to it, because funders don't want to put money into something where there's no one leading it or leading it here and there. Okay. So, and I go into deep detail. Again, I really hope and I encourage you guys to go to nonprofitvisionary.teachable.com. Again, nonprofitvisionary.teachable.com. In order to enroll in the Nonprofit Visionary Academy, we have the Dream Your Nonprofit in a Weekend course, and then also have the Seeded course, which goes into very deep detail about some of the things that we've just been talking about board development, the filing fee, the filing paperwork that you're going to need to do, what it looks like, your budget, templates for a budget. It really covers the whole gamut of, what do you need to have in place, and what are the documents, and, what's the information that you're going to need to seed your nonprofit for success. So I encourage you to go enroll and get that information. But because I'm touching here and there, or when you talk about developing a budget, that's a whole lecture, so to speak, in one of the courses. It's how do you develop your budget, what's supposed to go into it. But at the very minimum, you need to put something in there for yourself. You also need to put money in for your logo, your marketing. I'm a huge marketing person, so how you present yourself is really important, and first impressions are everything. That's not just on an individual basis, it's also with your organization. So you get what you pay for. So make sure that whoever's doing your logo or your website are actually professionals, and that's what they do, because you get what you pay for. Okay, so make sure that you develop a budget. So let's say you want to, for right now, we're talking about raising $5,000 in 90 days. Okay. So, you want to make sure that, and you're clear about those things, where the money's going to go. And if the money's going to, and be very clear that the money's going to seed it or startup functions, because that's what people are going to want to know, right? That it's a different thing. You're not providing services right now. So the money that you're raising is not necessarily going to go to house someone, because you don't even have money to build your organization. So be very clear about that. So getting to the raising the money, right? So here's a couple ideas, right? So first and foremost, and if you have any questions, just type them in for me. I will be more than happy to answer them for you. Again, I hope you like it. Take a moment to like the information and share it for somebody else who's looking for the same information. So the first thing was the board, okay? So if you have 5 board members, okay, and you ask them to raise $500 a piece, that's $2,500 right there, period, okay? that's half the $5,000 in 90 days, and you've probably done that in a week or so. Okay, so that's easy. So your board members, do not be afraid to ask your board members for financial support. Either they're out of their own pockets or out of their network's pockets. They can reach out to 10 people that will give them $50 a piece for them to come up with their $500. Okay, so that's one way. Do not sleep on your board members. Do not sleep on them. Okay. The second piece is engaging your friends and family. When we're talking about seeded dollars, this is your networks. And a lot of people will say, well, I don't have any networks. I don't know anybody. That's not true. You know people. And the thing is people want to support you. Okay. They want to help you. But when's the last time you asked them for help or ask them for support around something that's actually going to help other people, help you build something that's going to help other people? So ways that you can engage your friends and family by, one, having a launch party, okay, having a small party, whether that's for your organization, whether that's at your house, or someplace in the community where you don't have to pay for, okay, it could be a community center or something like that, and just invite people to come and tell them about your nonprofit organization. And per person, let's say, especially around the holiday season, okay, we're in the holiday season now, so people are having holiday parties, people are just having paint and sip parties just because. Well, take advantage of that. Or people having birthday parties, and say, okay, well, reach out to your friends and family, say, instead of having someone give you a gift, can you, in lieu of that, can they make a gift to my organization, or can they make, a contribution to the organization for the seed dollar? So that's one way. I've been to people's friends. Hey, Angela. I've been to events, holiday events I've been invited to, where people will showcase my nonprofit organization, allow me to come, and it's like a dinner party, and people come and they'll bring either toiletries or things to drop off at the door, along with a $30 check or something like that, and that contribution went to my nonprofit organization. I was able to go up and talk about why I started the organization. I had a young person with me. Always, if you're going to have an event like that, whoever you're working to provide services for, make sure they come with you, so that people can really see and feel, what it is that you're trying to do. But reach out to your friends and family and say, hey, will you have a party for me? Will you invite 10, 15, maybe 20 people to your house and ask them for a $25 donation a piece? And that's nothing to people. Okay, so make sure that when you're I'm here to help you sort of look at who are your networks, who are the people you're connected to, and what piece can they take, or what support can they provide you in raising dollars? Because we don't really look at people in our lives like that. There's some people can do something or can support you in different ways. You just have to know what to ask of them, because it's not their organization. They're not going to, let me just raise some money. Okay, so these are ways. So you got your board, okay, making $500 contribution each out of their own pockets or from their networks, right? And then also making sure that as people are donating to your cause or contributing to you, make sure you are keeping track of their email addresses and their names, like who they are, in a database somewhere. So, nowadays with technology, you've got MailChimp, you've got Constant Contact, you've got all kinds of ways to capture people's email addresses, so that when you want to communicate with them or keep them in the loop about what's going on, you can be doing that. And that is your donor base. And that's when you start start developing names of individuals who are going to, down the line, you're building relationships. Again, you're not just going to ask for money, or they come to an event and then, you're like, thank you for your $50 and that's it. No, you're building a relationship with them. Make sure that you're keeping in contact with them, keeping them abreast of what it is that you're doing. So we've got our friends and our family. So that's a way that we can engage them. Ask them to have parties for us, dinner parties, paint and sip parties. Just the same concept of rent parties. People throw a party, invite people to come, and you pay $10 at the door. You're helping somebody pay their rent or whatever they do with the money. It's the same sort of concept. People love to do stuff like that because they're already going to go to a party. They're already going to drink. They're already going to do, have fun. So why not do that and also, do it for a good cause? Okay, so that's one way too, and that's easy way to raise seed dollars. And when you go to the website, ShalitaO'Neal.com, and you sign up for the email subscription, you will get a detailed plan. This is, I'm giving you an overview at this point because it's a lot of information, but I will also give you the seeded fundraising plan, which goes into detail again about how much per category. I'm very detail oriented. So how you trying to raise at least $5,000, it goes into detail on who you need to contact, how many people you need to contact, how much money you need to raise per person, all of that, and the fundraising plan. So make sure you sign up. So we've got friends, we've got your board member, friends and family, your board members, and also the third piece that I would say is reach out to home-based or startup businesses. There's a lot of people now, we're like in an entrepreneurial boom. People are providing all kinds of services, all kinds of products out of their home or whatever, and they're starting up and they're needing to help to get, the word out about what it is that they're doing or what they have to offer as well. So I would say, for instance, there are people who bake cakes, who, cookies, who do different things like that are trying to get the word out, about their tasties, their goodies. But they're also wanting to help philanthropically. So they want to help give back too. So how about, it's a win-win. I believe in a win-win world, guys. So, they can give a percentage off. You can help tell your friends and family about this person who's making these amazingly delicious cakes. And, once they get the cakes or the cupcakes or whatever it is from that person, then, that person will give you or donate to you 20 or 30% of what they maybe have gotten, from the people who you have referred. Restaurants do it too. So like Ruby Tuesdays, I know in the past has done that. Chipotle, for us, if on a certain day when people come to eat there, they give a certain code, a percentage of the food that they eat or that they purchase will go towards your organization. Yes, a win-win, guys. It's a win-win. They get people coming and eating, you get some money for your organization, they help the community, everybody's happy, right? Okay, so that's one way that you could do it too. So the home-based businesses, making sure that you're reaching out to them, helping them get the word out. Whether somebody makes body butters, I make body butters too, on the side, that's not, whether somebody does that, okay, well, hey, I want to get my body butters out there. All right. So anybody all the sales that, you bring to me, I'm going to donate back to you. Okay. A certain percentage back to you. So really it's all these different pieces coming together. Is how you're going to raise your seed dollars. And at the end of the day, again, if you don't take anything else away from this video, I want you to take away that it is about relationships. All of those different pieces that I just shared with you is about people, whether it's your board that you've brought on initially, and you have an expectation, you're very clear with them about their responsibility or the expectation of them to help you raise money. That's relationships. It's relationships with your board. You're building trust, expectations, camaraderie, you're communicating with them. And then, they're also, in a way that they're also reaching out to their networks of people who you're going to be collecting their contact information. You're going to be, their email, their name, so that you can periodically or consistently follow up with them to let them know what's going on with you. That's relationship building. That's, hey, I'm still here. I'm not just taking your money and forgetting about you. Like, that is not what this is about. If you're building your organization for longevity, it is really about people. So you've got your board, then you've got your friends and family. It's about people and their networks and their relationships with other people. So making sure that, you get that. It's really big, okay? It's not about writing a grant and putting it out there and hoping for the best. It's about calling a potential funder or a potential donor, because at this level, individuals are extremely important. Before we start talking about huge foundations, the largest demographic of people that give to nonprofits are not foundations. They're not corporations. It's individuals. And at the end of the day, as you're working to seed your nonprofit, you want to make sure you have different streams of income, because if anything goes wrong at any given point, the people or the saving grace that you're going to have are the individual people who are supporting you, right? And who really believe in what you're doing. So again, I hope this was helpful, and I hope you share it with other people on how to, seed your nonprofit. You do not have to dig into your pockets and empty out your retirement and your savings in order to make things happen for your organization. What you need to do is have a very clear plan of what it is that you want to do, who you want to help, how much it is that you need, which is the budget piece, so that you're not just spending money or scrambling trying to figure things out. It's very strategic, but it can be fun, right? That's what we're going to be real. We're going to have fun, and we're going to get results. That's what I believe in. So again, share. I hope you keep in contact. So ShalitaO'Neal.com. I hope you also sign up for the Nonprofit Visionary Academy, which is Nonprofit Visionary Academy, all one word, .teachable.com. And I'm also going to be having Facebook Live webinars or videos like this every Wednesday and Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern noon. And I like to call these nonprofit no filter, okay? Because there's people out here who will, fluff things up, make it sugarcoat it. No, yes, let's go save the world. Let's go save the world. But there's things that we need to know about the process to avoid any sort of hindrances or barriers in what we're trying to do. This can be easy, right? It can be smooth. It is work, but it's heart work, not hard work. And because you have a passion for this, it's not going to feel like work. It's going to be something you can't wait to get up and do in the morning because you really believe in this, right? But there's a way to do it, and you can always count on me to be real with you and to be honest. We're going to have fun, but I'm going to be honest with you. So I hope you tune in Wednesdays and Fridays, 12 p.m. Eastern, for Facebook Live videos about different things around nonprofits. So you can ask me whatever it is that you want. I don't care what it is. What's the dynamics between executive director and a president of the board? What do you do when the president of the board is going crazy? What do you, I've had instances, I've seen a lot of different things. So don't be afraid to tune in to ask me, okay? So thank you for those who've joined. Again, this is going to be recorded so you can share, you can like it, and we will be in touch, okay? Have a good one, y'all. Dream on.